Come on, man, live audience. Alright, come on. We feed me an ass, we feed off the energy, you dig what I'm saying? We are definitely excited to be here. Third Space JXN.
Shout out to Third Space.
Listen, shout out to Third Space, shout out to Aisha who just went on with Visit Jackson. So super excited about all the things that she's doing in the capital city.
For sure.
And something like this was actually able to bring back the dynamic duo.
Reunite.
And it feels so good. Shout out to the neighborhood. Ashley FG in the place to be.
What's up, Kimar?
What's happening? My name is Kimar coming to you all the way live. Your favorite country cousin, your favorite Mississippian, and your best friend. And again, I'm here with the beautifully talented Ashley FG Norwood.
This has been the intro for like 5 years, y'all.
Oh,
and it never gets old. I ain't even mad at it. But it's so good to be here again. Thank you to Third Space. Thank you to Aisha. Thank you to Dominique. Those who made today possible. Because we've been talking about when will we get back in the studio? When we going to hop on the microphone again?
The streets been asking.
Well, timing is everything. I feel like this is the perfect time for us to reunite. So I know we got a lot of familiar faces in the crowd. Shout out to the girls.
Shout out to
my girls. I see y'all.
One thing about you and your girls, they gonna show up and show out.
GWOR.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah. So while we got a lot of familiar faces, for those who may be new to Family Tree, can you go ahead and tell them about the Family Tree podcast?
Well, we gotta complete the intro, right? Welcome to another episode of
the Family Tree Podcast.
Come on. So check it out, man. The genesis of this whole thing, I met Ashley FG back in 2018 at a film festival that one of our mutual friends, Tiffany, actually put on at the I Love Jackson State University. And I just, the aura of Ash, I'm like, who is this girl, first and foremost? And, we had a chance to meet. I actually moderated a panel that she was on, and she also showed her film Fly in the Buttermilk.
Yeah.
And I said, man, we gotta do something together. You know what I mean? And so we became friends and whatnot over the years. And I've been in podcasting since 2015. I've had a variety of shows, the Kimar Show, Working Woman Wednesday, Mental Shampoo, if you know, you know. But I always wanted to, again, work with Ashley. When I came across the Family Tree podcast, I'm like, this girl is big on family. She's big on community. She's big on friendship. Like, I've never seen her not big up any one of those three. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if she don't do it, then I'm just not doing this damn show. So at first, she was not with it. She's like, Kane, I don't even listen to podcasts like that, let alone want to talk on a podcast.
It seems like the industry was oversaturated. So it's like, if we hop on a podcast, I want to make sure we're moving forward with something that is specific, intentional, and meaningful. And I guess as we continue to talk about it, we found it. We found it. And it's a lot of day ones in the audience. Shout out to the day ones that's been listening since 2021.
Post-COVID.
So, our motto being growing in knowledge, love, and truth, one family at a time. Even though we haven't been on the microphone in quite a few years, I feel like we've been continuing to live by that motto. Yeah. Growing in knowledge, love, and truth, one family at a time. Stay rooted, stay black, and stay blessed.
Come on.
So today kind of feels like a family reunion, right? And what do families do at reunions? We reminisce, right? We talk about the good days, we catch up, and we start to plan for the future. So today we want to do just that, y'all. I know we got a limited time with you, but we're going to jump right into it. So next month makes 5 years since our very first episode. 5 years, Lord have mercy. Let's give it, let's turn it up for there real quick. 5 years. So as you think about those conversations, right, we had 2 seasons, thinking about what we've discussed in the past. Kane, I want you to talk about some episodes that come to mind. And what is it about those episodes that may still resonate with you today?
Okay, so, look, when we went back in the archives, one of the episodes that really resonated with me quite a bit was I Am Not My Hair.
I am not my hair.
Which was inspired by N.E.R.E. Now, I had locks. I had 2 sets of locks.
We both had locks.
I got a nice little fade now, you know what I mean? I had to cut them joints because my hair was thinning out in the back, but, it just was kind of you know, that right there, because I think I was tying my identity to my hair in a sense.
Yeah.
And so I held on to the locks as long as I could, because I also had like a little plan. I say, man, I'm gonna have my locks all through my 30s. I'm 35 now, I'm 36 in June, right? I say by 40, you know, I'm gonna shave it off, go to ball look and do the Rick Ross beard type shit. I had the whole thing planned out.
Yeah.
And then God was like, let me thin this up here, that little crown in the back of the head. You know, so when I get my hair cut now, let me get that level 2 low fade so it matches what I got going on back there. So, you know, I still got my hairline a little bit, still looking, you know, a little handsome out here. You know, but like that, just how we can tie identity to a thing like hair and what that does. It's like an accessory, like your watch, like your necklaces and things like that. That's how I was looking at that. And I would say my second episode was generational patterns.
Oh, I remember that one.
Hey.
We talked about cellular memory.
Yes, indeed, cellular. Yes.
How we pass on trauma.
Yeah, man.
From our ancestors, we may not realize it, but it's within us because of cellular memory.
Fun fact. And so instead of generational curses, because nobody's cursed out here, right? Say no.
No.
Okay. We're gonna try it again. Nobody's cursed out here, right? No. That was much better. So there's patterns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we go through that give us some of the same results as our, you know, people before us, generations before us. So it's like, you know, let's switch some things up. And I think the millennial generation, we have the opportunity to like change the narrative, take hold of that, learn, like you're big on your family tree, pun intended. And like what inspired me with you and your family, you have the photograph legit from starting with your like
That's
great
right. That's right.
Yeah, going all trickling all the way down.
Family tree, that shows all the descendants from our great grandparents.
Yeah.
And I later learned that was something that my mother did.
Okay.
So that whole storytelling, that wanting to understand your genealogy, I see now that it's nothing that I just like because I like it.
DNA.
Yeah.
DNA.
I really appreciate those 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And in addition to those 2, what stood out to me, the Mother's Day and Father's Day specials. If y'all remember those, what we did differently in that setting was to invite our parents into the conversation.
Indeed.
So we went and interviewed our moms.
Yeah.
I interviewed my dad, and we have that tape now. We use it as a part of our conversation. I remember when my father would talk about some of the things he wished he would have done differently. And I'm like, I would have never known that had I not gave him the space to talk about it.
Facts.
Or my mother talking about her mother, my grandmother Lily.
Yes.
I don't remember her. She died when I was a little baby. So hearing her talk about her, now I'm seeing how much my mother is just like my grandmother, and feeling like, well, now I get to grow with my grandmama because she and my mama. But what was so beautiful about that approach though, because let's talk about Black people.
About Black folk.
We've been a community that for so long we've had to search for our roots, reclaim our history.
Come on.
So by recording or having the conversation, pausing first of all, because it's a lot going on. We all got things going on, right? So many distractions, but being intentional about taking the time to sit with your family, having those conversations, recording them, so now you're preserving them. It's so powerful because now we become the keepers of our own stories. Y'all feel that?
Yeah.
We are the keepers of our own knowledge, our own truth, our own love. It's something we can share with our family today and the generations to come.
Pass it down.
Listening to that episode, and I'm listening to my mom, I'm like, dang, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have known she would have been here. But I have this now to share with my unborn kids so they can hear their grandmama talking her talk.
Indeed.
I love that. That's so powerful and that's so meaningful. So if y'all don't get nothing else from this conversation, go talk to your people.
Go talk to your
and
people.
press record.
Yes.
And hold on to it. Put it in a couple places. Put it on a thumb drive. Put it in the cloud. Transcribe it. Hold on to it, man, because you just never know when that's all you got to connect with your people. So a lot has happened.
Yeah.
Since our last recording, life-changing events.
Yes, indeed.
Can you made like when you became a father?
Come on, man.
You became a daddy. Shout out
to my little young
man. And you know, I feel like I lost life when I lost my mama. Definitely feel like I lost a part of myself. How we experience parenthood and grief, those are 2 topics that we talked about in previous episodes. But it's real different when you the one in the emergency room, in the delivery room, or you the one sitting on the front row at the funeral.
Yeah.
So today we want to revisit some of those topics today. All right. So I want to hear all about Kimar.
Yeah.
And then with that, what has fatherhood been revealing to you about you?
Fatherhood has been like the biggest gift and yet the biggest challenge I've ever experienced in my life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I have 6 sisters and a brother. However, I grew up an only child. So I've been very self-centered.
Okay.
I'm learning to be more other-centered. Learning to be Kimari-centered. Because she's, you know, shout out to her being my namesake and everything.
Yeah.
She's teaching me patience. You know what I mean? She's giving me a if you would. She's definitely lit more of a fire within me to make sure that I make happen what I said what I was gonna make happen. Like one of the greatest compliments I've ever received from someone. Somebody was like, "Man, Kane, you do what you say you're gonna do."
Yeah.
And I take pride in that. You know what I mean? And when I had that little girl, man, that just amped that up even some more. And it added a little more urgency too. You know, definitely added somebody watching, and she pick up on every damn thing. Like I be having to watch what I say for real. Like I had stubbed my toe one time. I shared this story earlier, and I said, "Oh shit," and she said, "Oh shit." I said, "Okay." I say, "Yep, noted. Let me watch my mouth." And she'll be 3 June 16th, man. So it's crazy how fast, you know, you get tired of hearing it, especially when you have a newborn. Like, man, time go by fast. But it legit, you know how the old folks say, just keep living.
Just keep living.
Man, same thing. Like them kids, man, they grow fast. And it's, you know, it's crazy. It's fascinating. And I still be in shock every day when I look at her. I'm like, damn, I made that. Like, I did that. She pretty as hell, too.
She is.
Thank you. And so, she has an ear, too.
Okay.
You know, like, she eats like me, a lot of fruit. She likes steak, you know what I mean? So now I got to get to the bag even more.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she likes steak. She likes all of this stuff. Appetite is expensive, and she a girly girl. She loves dresses. You know, she put on a little skirt and twirl all day. Yeah, and she'll be we'll be in the car, and I got the music going. You know, I have a habit of beating the beat on my steering wheel. She'll be in the back beating on her car seat, nodding her little head, and then she started. She would be on beat, and she would be like 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Kimar.
Never taught her that. So she gonna have an ear for sure. And the only thing that I'm gonna force her to do for real is to learn piano. Because I feel like the piano can open up any door, anywhere.
Absolutely.
And I'm big on reading and writing, as you know, in public speaking. So it's like you master piano, writing, reading, and public speaking, she gonna take the stars, man.
Thinking about fatherhood, does it ever get scary? And like, what's happening in those moments when it does get scary?
I wouldn't say scary, but it definitely gives me a sense of anxiousness.
Okay, talk about that.
You know, I know when she was about 7 or 8 months in the womb, I was just like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Like my mind was just racing. And then God just gave me like a spirit of ease, man. It's like, yo, I can say, give her to me and I got you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, all right. I said, I'm gonna give her to you and you just provide and do what you do. And like, I haven't had to want for nothing, man. Like, and my mama, you know, I buy Kimara shoes now. She got Nike Romeros before I got Nike Romeros. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure she laced, but I've never really had to buy clothes because my mom buys way in advance. I'm like, all right, shout out to you. I'm like, you know, and she likes to read, so I'm like, yo, don't get her no more toys, books and clothes. If you want to do that, do your thing. I'll just keep her laced with the kicks and everything. So it doesn't get scary. It's just like everything that I learned late, because I learned a lot on my own, man. I learned a lot on my own. I bumped my head a lot. So it's like things that I learned late, I definitely give to her. I try to give to her early and will continue to do that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. She need that. Girls need their daddies, for sure. You know, they say the older we get, we start to become more like our parents. We even start to understand what they mean when they used to say, wait till you have kids.
Facts.
I want to know, has it shown true for you? And in what ways, maybe have you seen your mother or your father show up in how you connect and care for Kimari?
Yeah. I'll say as far as my mom, I still think it's kind of early, but some things that I can say, like, you know, I'm real picky on who watch her.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because a lot of people, you know, I see people just get a baby to anybody. I'm like, look, you know, that's a wrap. Like, I'm finna vent you. You know what I mean? And my mother, I wasn't wild, but I was outside a little bit very early, like at 13, like middle school type age. Like, and I never had a curfew. So she would always be like concerned with stuff. And for me, when I see her exploring and climbing stuff and doing all this stuff, you know, I'd be like trying to catch her and all these things. Like, you know what? Let her fall a little bit. I'll try to ease up, but I'd be real anxious in that because she'd be into stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I can see me turning into my mother in that way. And as far as my father, back on the music tip, like my father is really, you know, my father was in a quartet back in the day. Shout out to Jerry Lee Kane, the ancestors.
Yes.
And I think she would definitely have like mine and my father's ear, because I feel like I got my father's ear. So yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child. We've all heard that in the room, right? How true is that for you? And talk about who's your village and how they've been stepping in.
You know what's crazy? My village, I'm still like building that.
For sure.
My village is very, very small.
Okay.
So it's my mother, my sister on my mom's side, and then my baby sister on my father's side. That's like my immediate three.
Gotcha.
Everybody else I'm still trying to figure out. So like I'm back in school and stuff too. I'm about to complete my second semester at Jackson State. Studying to become a counselor, licensed counselor and everything. So I'm excited about that. So when I had class, I hit up my youngest sister Aaliyah. You know, I'm like, can you watch your niece tonight while I'm in class? She hold it down for me. You know, so and that can be quite a bit though, because like with my village still being that small and still figuring it out again, going back to not trusting everybody with your kid. You know, she's been in class with me before. When my sister is not able to watch her. You know, she's been to me at kid-friendly events, even though other kids may not have been there. I'm not gonna bring her nowhere crazy, no way. But just like I've had to bring her with me.
We see her at the Run Club.
Oh yeah, and she be stretching all hands to the sky. Like she sing and do all those things. So yeah, my village is small, but we building as we climb.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I appreciate you asking me about the youngin'. I wanna, you know, the people wanna know about Ash Cakes, man. Ashley FG Norwood. Y'all wanna know about Ashley a little bit? What she been up to? Y'all give it up for Ashley one time, man. So, you know, you talked about grief a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Take a deep breath.
Y'all got tissues in the crowd. Cause I might
You know what I'm saying? So,
they gonna be all right.
what's something about traumatic grief and loss others might not know unless they experience it for themselves?
So, keyword traumatic. I think traumatic grief and loss is a bit more complex than what we experience with grief in general, because it's surrounded by traumatic events. So when we talk traumatic grief and loss, now you have depression, now you have PTSD, you have extreme fatigue, you got anger, you confused, you're happy, you're sad. It's persistent, it don't stop. It's mental, it's physical, it's neurological, it affects your brain chemistry. I can keep going. And it ain't even been 2 years, you know? And so it's like, every day is something new. It's no blueprint to it. It's nothing that could have prepared me for it. But it's something that we all gonna have to go through at some point. Some level of grief, some level of loss. And it's not about it happening, but how do you respond to it? So, you know, have my experience as I'm along this healing journey, I'm so grateful for the help that I have. I got a strong medical team. I got my community, my family. Shout out to FMLA, because when I needed to take off, I had to take off.
Shout out to FMLA.
And I think that moment when you just had to be okay with not being okay, I wasn't ready for that, because I'm such a person that does. I'm always doing, I'm out working, I'm hustling, I'm taking care of my folks, doing X, Y, Z. But it came to the point where it was like, okay, HK, you're not okay. So take the time for yourself to try to restore. This is a long journey. It's a long journey. So Take your time, find your pace. Kind of like Jackson Run Club. Every pace is legal. Same thing with grief.
Yeah.
Same thing with grief.
So when this grief, it gets heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes a load, like what do you find comfort in? You know, what makes you smile? What makes you laugh? What are these things that you do when it gets heavy?
That's good, because honestly, some of the things I connect with now, they've been pre-existing. But with grief, you can create meaning for things. So like the clouds, I could be riding down I-20. Boy, them clouds get me caught up. I'm like, let me focus on driving. But it's something about the clouds, and I think it's the spirituality in me as well, because you know, you see your loved ones in heaven, so you automatically connect heaven, clouds, my people. And then blue, it's a color of comfort. But blue and pink skies, oh, that's my mama. We added meaning to those colors for her specifically.
Yes.
The monarch butterfly, I went and got them tatted on my arm. But there was a moment where they appeared, and I chose to believe that it wasn't coincidence. So now all the women in my family got a butterfly of some sort in memory of my mom.
Oh, that's hard.
Proud family. I don't know, but sometimes I have to be careful with what I consume because I'm so fragile. Especially right now, I'm real fragile. So there's the episode of the Proud Family show where, I don't know if y'all remember this, but Sugar Mama had to get up and go bars, and her secret ingredient was she put her foot in it. If you go back and watch that episode, it is such a beautiful mother and son. Her and Oscar connected in a way that they've never done in any other commercial. And you got the I'll always love my mom. Like, I don't know, it's just something about the episode. I watch it all the time and I just feel so good.
Yeah.
So it could be the most random things, but you choose to give meaning to it. My family, they make me happy. My niece, shout out to Soleil.
Shout out to Soleil.
That girl right there, she'll make any bad day a good one.
Come on.
So I keep that in rotation.
Okay.
That's what we keep in me.
So, you know, we know you got your crew in the room.
Zoo.
You know what I'm saying? The phrase, let me know what I can do for you. A lot of people may say it, however, a lot of people may not mean or have the capacity to actually do it.
That's good, yeah.
Right? So what's something that you want people to consider when their loved ones or friends are experiencing grief? How can they show up for those in those dark times?
I think the best thing to do is, one, ask, right? What can I do to support you in this moment? Because it may look different every day and in any situation. Asking is an opportunity, you know, that's the curiosity of the person and wanting to invite you to share with them what it is that you need, versus us carrying that pressure to feel like we gotta give answers and advice that we don't have. It's okay. I'm not looking for anybody to give me any perfect advice. I pay a therapist to help me with that. You know what I'm saying? But what is meaningful is when your person is hurting, don't forget them in their pain. When you ask somebody that's grieving, how you doing? I guarantee you, they're gonna either choose to tell you really how they're doing, or they're gonna say, I'm good. Miranda did that today. She said, how you doing? I said, I'm okay. Then she asked me again. I don't know if she tried to ask me again. But then I was like, I'm doing the best I can.
About to say Miranda be super intentional.
That doggone Miranda, you gotta watch her. But by not forgetting them in their pain just means if I choose to be open and vulnerable with you, know that they're so precious, and follow up with me, check in with me, invite me to talk about, well, what's going on? Like, you know, just talk to me, what's going on? If you can pause for a moment, and even if it's just the briefest moment, because we all got stuff going on, right? I'm not the only one in this room that's grieving. I'm not the only one person in here that's got lost. But for a brief moment, if you can connect with me on a human level, invite me into a space to talk about what's going on, it's so much healing that can happen in that moment by itself. But I might not get there if you don't invite me to that space, because I'm already thinking, let me not dump my depression on you. Right? It's already insecurity that I carry. You feel like you alone in this because the world is continuing to move. Meanwhile, I got a cloud over my head. I'm still showing up to work though. I'm functioning. That's called functioning depression. But I got a cloud over my head that nobody else can see. But the minute somebody will invite me to talk about it, I'm gonna close the door and cry.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna feel better after I cry though.
For sure. It's a cleansing.
Absolutely. So I think that's one thing that I wish people knew. when they engage with their person who might be grieving. Don't forget them in their pain. If they choose to tell you that they're going through it, pause for a moment, if you can, briefly, and invite them to share. Invite them to bring you in. It's a homegirl in this room right now. When I talk to her, I don't feel like I have to hurry up and finish what I'm saying. I feel like I got all the time in the world to say whatever I feel. I'm not judged by it. She not gonna try to give me any perfect advice, but she might say, yeah, you know what, it is messed up. I am sorry that happened. And that means a lot. That means a lot. Shout out to my community, man. I definitely appreciate my girl.
Man. Love it.
I definitely do.
Love it. You mentioned about like grief, this journey being a long journey.
Right.
So what is this grief journey? What is it teaching you?
So many things. One thing I can talk about today though, I realized I've reconnected with my body. My therapist once said, if you feel like you're losing your mind, go find your body. What does that look like? That means get out the bed and drink some water, stretch. Let's go work out, let's walk. Let's start there. You know, whatever you're consuming. So I'm exercising more, my diet has changed, mindfulness, like being okay with taking a moment, put my hand on my chest so I can recess. If y'all want to do it with me, just close your eyes for a second. And breathe in. Now exhale. And exhale slowly. I don't know about y'all, but I feel even more calm after doing that. Indeed. Giving yourself the chance to just pause and reset. We gotta do that, okay? So connecting with my body in ways, mindfulness, exercise, and rest. Because for a year, I couldn't sleep. For a year, I could not sleep. I had chronic insomnia. So exercising, resting, moving my body, finding my body, because at the end of the day, grief is a weight that we don't choose. But by learning how to exercise and use mindfulness and get rest, this is how we teach our bodies to carry grief without allowing it to crush us. Because I got to a point where I thought it was gonna crush me. I was 200 pounds one time. Now I'm 50 pounds lighter.
I hear snatched.
Okay, snatched. The summertime, I'm ready. But beyond that, I feel much better about myself. So that's one thing that grief has taught me. It's a weight that we don't choose, but how you find your body, exercising, mindfulness, resting, that's how you teach your body how to carry it without allowing it to crush you.
So, last question I got for you before we get to the final thoughts, right?
All right.
What impact has losing your mother had on the relationships with your family and the family tree?
That's real. I remember the first time somebody said, you know, you're the matriarch now. I was like, what?
That's heavy.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
My mother's a matriarch, whether she is physically here or not. She will always be there. I'll be the matriarch when I start my own family. But I get it, because the truth is, in her absence, it's been me. I've been the one. I'm the one that gotta keep our family gathering at the house. If my daddy so much as get a cold, now I'm the caregiver. You know what I'm saying? I never had to be this person, but now it's me, right? So I move forward with love and also with legacy. But I don't want the matriarch title. I don't like that, because it also means that I gotta face the reality that mine is not here. But in addition to that, I will say the relationship between my father and I, it has been redefined in such a beautiful way. I love my daddy. Shout out to Solid B. He's always there for me, you know. And I don't like to get into, you know, mother, father, you know, your parents, you connect with them how you connect with them, right? Like, my grandmother had 15 kids, and in the interview that I had with my mother for the Mother's Day special, she talked about how grandmother Lily had a relationship with every single one of them. Because people would be like, dang, you got all these kids? How you got a relationship with all of them? we have our individual relationships, but of course, in the absence of my mom, now me and my daddy talk about stuff we never talk about, like boys. I remember the first time my daddy stood up and he was like, "So Ashley, you have a boyfriend?" And it's like he didn't want to look at me because I mean he didn't want to know how to feel. But I'm like, "Nah, Daddy, it's just you and me, baby. We rocking, you know." So it's us connecting in ways we haven't before. We're talking about things we haven't before, because otherwise he would just get it from pillow talk from my mama, you know, because she would still tell him that, you know. But like now we have an attachment that we haven't had before. That's my guy. We locked in, and Lord, protect him. I need him. But I also know that he going through it too. He lost the love of his life, the woman that he spent over half of his years with. He sent me a text message this morning that almost told me up. But we're redefining our relationship. I'm showing up for him the best way I can, and he's doing the same for us.
Amen.
And I love that. My aunts, my mother's sister, part of the village, they've been showing up in ways that have been very beautiful and meaningful, because that's the promise that they made their sister. So, I mean, redefining relationships in good ways. But then also, I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to my aunts, I'm gonna say this. It's like I'm happy that they're there, but then they remind me so much of my mama. Sometimes it hurt a little bit. So I still have these undefined and unseen boundaries with some of my family members, because going to certain spaces and being around certain people, I would have never been there without her. Yeah. So it's like, even being in that moment, I gotta carry grief with me. But that's what it is. You're literally integrating grief into every aspect of your life. But learning how to do so in a healthy way, safe way, having your community is what has been helping me to continue along this journey and do so well.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Final thoughts, man. What you thinking? How you feel?
Well, because you know, at the end of the family reunion, when everybody get ready to leave, they're like, "Hey, y'all, we gotta do this again next year. We gotta get, you know, we can't wait till."
Yeah.
I know we always say that too. We can't wait till a wedding or a funeral for
Facts.
we get together, right?
Get together, yeah.
So, I do have a question that I want to pose for our final thought.
Okay.
What is the future of Black families? What do you think the future of Black families require from all of us in this room? What does the future of our Black families require from us?
The first word that popped up in my head was presence.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, presence, man. I think you start with presence, you start with intentionality.
Yeah.
You're very intentional, Ashley. Like, I think I've shared this with you before, but if not, here it is, live and direct, right? You've definitely taught me, just indirectly, how to be more intentional with family time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Cause I'll be okay in my own little bubble. But then, like, one of my favorite movies is Collateral Beauty with Will Smith. And in the opening scene, he talks about how life is about people.
Yeah.
And not just about people, it's about your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that presence, putting the phone up, like even in this conversation, I put my phone in my backpack. I don't want to feel no vibration or nothing. I want to be here. I want to talk with you. I want to be with our people in the room. So just being present and that intentionality, I think is what is required. What about you? What you think?
Presence actually was one of the first thoughts I had too. In addition to being present, be curious.
Okay.
Be curious. I think us asking questions, because you gotta pause and be present, one, right? Whether it's asking questions in observation or just curiosity, but using that to begin those conversations with our families.
Yes.
If I'm not curious about where I come from, if I'm not curious about, you know, who I come from, if I'm not curious about why I am the way I am, then it's just a lot that's left unsaid.
Yes.
So being present and then allowing curiosity to lead us into these conversations, I think we on something.
You know what? And shout out to my grandmother. She passed in 2017 at 102.
Yeah.
And I remember her being in a nursing home on her way out, and I was bombarding her with questions.
Yeah.
Because of that. You know what I'm saying? You want to know you want to know more about your family tree, you want to know more about your grandmother and all these things. And it's like, she's like, boy, why are you asking me all these questions? I'm like, Granny, I want to know. You know, I want to know what's happening with, you know, with the family, with the whole tree. And then even I had to let my mother and my father know before my father transitioned in 2020. I'm like, when I'm asking y'all questions, man, know that I'm also looking for myself in y'all's story.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. It's really that simple. Because
yeah.
I'm half of both of you all's DNA. Like, you are the north, south, east, and west. I need that to make my entire moral compass.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you know, so much of how our parents have parented is based on some of the insecurities that they have had because of experiences they had before we even got here.
For sure.
I ain't gonna know it unless I ask you about it.
For sure.
That's good, gang. I know we are on borrowed time. Yeah. I feel like we might be at our time. But I do understand that we have an opportunity for some audience questions.
Some Q&A.
So if now is a good time, Kane, we can pause and invite some questions or comments from the audience.
Let's do it. Any questions from the room?
Question? A comment?
Yeah, it ain't gotta be a question. You can say how good we look. But if not, shout out to my girl T.
If there is none, I do want to just again say thanks to Third Space JXN.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aisha. Shout out to Dominique. I got my interns in here, my students. Hey y'all.
Shout out to the interns.
My girls, my family, they're all here. But we really appreciate Third Space for this platform to be able to reunite. Thanks to the fam, again, like the day ones that's up in here, that's been rocking with us since 2021. We appreciate y'all so much. And for those that we're meeting today, we're really happy y'all decided to join our conversation.
Yeah, man. And that right there, that concludes another great episode of the Family Tree Podcast.
Thank y'all for rocking with us. DJ, turn me up.
Turn me up.